This painting by Degas is entitled Behind the Scenes, and when he originally did it, he used pastel on paper. I'm actually going to be using Derwent Inktense Blocks on paper because I think they lend themselves to this. If we look at his lines, you'll see there's a lot of short lines. There's also a lot of colour in this, and the more you look, the more colours you see, and all these colours are mixed together in these little short lines. You might want to find a copy of this on the internet and zoom in and have a look at all that fine detail. Derwent Inktense really lend themselves to this. Once they're dry, they're permanent, and you'll see I start off by putting a colour all over, and I'm just choosing to do one girl from this scene just as a little study, because it's really good practice to get your eye in and to have a look at how other people work. And it really makes you, like I say, use your eye. Especially with something like anatomy, it's great drawing practice. The reason that I chose that colour to begin with was because I feel, looking at it, if you look at, like I say, if you zoom in and really look at it, I think he perhaps used a coloured paper to begin with. You'll see those buff kind of tones underneath. So I started with that, and then I came on and put much shorter lines. The drawing isn't brilliant. I think I've got her head a little bit too small and not just at the right angle. But like I say, it's really good practice, and I could highly recommend this, especially for those of you that perhaps do want to have a go at doing anatomy. And this particular girl, it really shows how he understands the anatomy. Look at the way we've got those great big muscles that go along our backs from the top of our neck. So look from where her ear is, and you can see where those muscles really go right up there, following those lines. And at the end, I used some acrylic pens to enhance some of those lines and get some of that light and shade back. One thing you'll really notice about this when you start studying it is just how dark it is, how much of those girls' faces are in the shadow, and how much there isn't that detail. So just look at the nose, the side of the cheek, the sides of the shoulders, etc., the hands. The detail is really fading away, but the anatomy of it really gives us that feeling of the movement in the dancers. It really gives some solidity to the figures, even without that detail. So when you're drawing things like hands, don't start by concentrating on all the little details like knuckles and nails, etc. Look at the overall shape of the whole hand and really study it. Also, you might see the way I've copied that line that goes across the top of her eyebrows. So we're not seeing her eyes, but we're seeing that line going all the way around, and that gives the form to the face. Now, if you look at the hands on top of the shoulders, we've just got a few lines, the back of the hand, the way the fingers curl over, but we haven't got every individual finger. The paint fades away, and that also gives us this sense of movement, that, you know, he's drawing the movement, he's painting the movement. And really he is drawing because it's pastels. So although I'm using something that's more like a paint with the Derwent, you're still drawing all the time, and you can correct your drawing as you go along. Of course, the Derwent are permanent once, the Inktense are permanent once they're on there and they're dry, so you can build those layers up. But yeah, so you're drawing as much as you are painting when you're putting the colours on, is what I'm trying to say. And these really are colours that you probably wouldn't choose. You wouldn't knowingly choose to do a skin tone, but our skin is picking up the colours from around. So all these girls have got these blue dresses on, and they're all swirling around, and there's lights, and that colour is in the hair, it's in the faces, it's in the skin. And that, again, that adds to this sense of motion that he's wanting to get into this painting. Whatever you're painting, whether you're painting an apple, a person, a landscape, don't be frightened to go really dark and really light. Look how dark it is behind her ear, and then look how light it is on the top of her hand. And that contrast makes the painting more interesting, gives you more dynamism, if that's the right word. So don't be afraid to do that. Do that when you're doing your landscapes, do whatever you're doing. I think especially beginners are very tentative at using very dark colours. Highlights aren't always white. I know I do come on at the end and put some white on, but if you look at it, it's not really white. And when I'm doing my landscapes, very often my highlights will be a creamy colour or something like that, or just a lighter version of colours that you've been using with some white added. You very rarely get that real white, unless it's perhaps in the centre of the sun or a chink on a glass or something like that. So whilst I was doing this today, I really wanted to talk to you about why I've not been on YouTube too much and why I'm not going to be on YouTube as much over the coming months. Those of you that have followed me for a long time, and I do thank you for that, because I've been on YouTube quite a long time now, and it's great to have new followers, but it's also great to have those of you that have kind of stuck with me when I've changed and evolved and done different things. You'll notice I've tried a lot of shorts recently. I've been doing an A to Z of flowers. But one of the reasons that I've got less time for YouTube at the moment is, like I said, those of you that know my situation will know that I'm a farmer's wife and that we are on a dairy farm here in Cumbria. So my husband's been milking cows here since he left school, so for 40 years now, and obviously it's something that's very tiring. You're milking cows either end of the day, and it does limit the amount of time we can have off, etc. So he's taken the decision that we're going to have a complete change and we're going to sell all the cows, and they're going at the end of August. So you can imagine over the next few months that we're going to be having quite a bit of work to do with advertising that and changing the business, etc. So that is one reason why I'm really quite busy at the moment and don't have that time for YouTube, but it doesn't mean that I won't be coming back to it. So later in the year, September, October, it will actually mean that I'm going to have more time. I'm going to have more free time to do things like YouTube and to do more Skillshare and more teaching. So I really hope to come onto that then. I'm also, and this is just a case of bad timing, and as you know, it was a decision that we made recently, sorry, that my husband made, not me, but it's a decision we came to recently, and it's coincided with me getting busier with my own work and my own sales of my landscape paintings. So I've got a little bit of pressure on at the moment to create quite a few new landscapes. I've got 2 exhibitions later in the year. So we've got those 2 things, the helping my husband with on the farm side of things, coming up towards the sale of the cattle, and working towards these exhibitions. So I just wanted to sort of tell you that I didn't want you thinking that I'd forgotten about you, that I'd disappeared, and that I wasn't thinking about my teaching at the moment, because I am doing, and I will come back to it when I've got that extra time for you. And like I say, there should be much more time over the coming years to do more tutorials like this. So this isn't really a tutorial, it's more of a demonstration. And as perhaps I've mentioned this before in other videos, is I didn't used to be keen as a youngster on doing artist copies, because I think when you're young and you're just enjoying painting, you want to do your own thing, you want to choose your own colours, you want to choose what your own subjects, and when your teacher at school says, oh, you've got to do this artist copy, and it might be an artist that you're not particularly taken with anyway, I didn't really understand why at school I was being asked to do this. And now I can totally understand why, and looking at how they lay the paint down, looking at the brush strokes, looking at how they work, it can really help, and it just helps your observation, because when you're studying something for this length of time, I've actually speeded this up quite a bit. I think I've speeded it up by 2 in most places. You can see how long it takes, and you just keep looking back and seeing more and more detail and understanding what they're doing. So look at those, like I said before, the lost edges, and that's all to do with this movement through these, with the way they're dancing. Really fantastic when you start studying this particular little painting. It is only a small painting. It's 60 by 67 centimetres. Those of you that have seen some of my tutorials talking through the drawing of animals, things like cows and horses, I've done quite a lot of those in the past, might recall when I say that we've got to understand the skeleton underneath and the muscles underneath, because otherwise it can look a bit cartoony, and although he's not got all that detail in it, he really does understand the form. So look on your own body where things connect, where those muscles are, where that skeleton is, and always have in mind that skeleton underneath when you're drawing, particularly with the skull. You'll see right at the beginning, if you pop back to the beginning when I was doing that pencil drawing, you've got 2 parts. You've got the skull and the face, and then the way the hair goes around. So it's kind of in 2 separate parts there. And look at how the face disappears off into the background, so it's hard to get that detail in. And sometimes you've got to stop yourself, because you can imagine where that cheek is, you can imagine where the mouth is, you know where it's going to sit between the brow and the chin, but he's not drawn it, he's not put it in, so then you shouldn't too. So think about losing some of that detail, losing some of those edges and making it really soft. As I was going along, some of the colours have got a bit muddy, and I've not let things dry as I ought to have done, because I was just doing this quick study and sketch and just enjoying doing it and relaxing. And that's the other thing, it's very relaxing sitting doing a little study like this with no pressure on. Nobody's going to see it, it doesn't matter, it's a practice. You don't have to worry about it being perfect, you're just learning from it. But I did find it suited my style, because if you look at my paintings, you'll see that I do a lot of drawing on top of the paint, and I use a lot of lines. I like mark making, and this is really what he's doing. And even when I came on at the end and put the black lines on, even though that was kind of my decision, I wanted to tighten up the drawing. If you look very carefully, there are some very fine black and white lines that I think he's put on at the end, again just to sharpen up those highlights and tones, but also some of the drawing that he wanted to sharpen up, especially around things like the arm, where you've got the bicep and the elbow, everything on that the arm that's to the right of the screen. If you can find this painting online and you wanted to have a go at doing an artist copy, of course you could expand it out and do the other girls as well, and just look carefully at where the dresses are going, because on her, some of the green underneath is actually the girl next to her's dress, it's not her. So just look at that, where one girl starts and the other ends, and all those colours blend and meld to get that feeling of that movement again. I know I've said that a few times, but this is really all about movement. And if you're interested in drawing and painting the anatomy specifically, of course you can go and look at more of Degas' work, but also look at people like Lautrec. I just love his dancers. Again, he uses a lot of mark making and a lot of simple lines, but he understands what's underneath. He understands the skeleton and the way that the body moves. So it looks easier than it is when you look at his work. Again, look at things like the hands. This hand here, on the right hand side of the screen, just look at, you've got three lines, the back of the finger, the top of the hand, and then the back of the wrist. And just look at your own hand now in front of you and think about drawing those lines and nothing else. Simplifying everything, bringing it right down. And actually what you could do is, if you wanted to do a detailed drawing and then knock some of the lines out, get your eraser and get rid of a few of those lines, just to make it more hazy, make it more impressionistic. So here at the end, I'm a bit cat-handed with these pens. I go a bit overboard, but that's just me, that's my style. Too much white like on the top of the ear there, but I just wanted to get that light back and have the black against the white there. Now these acrylic pens are what I use in my own work. If you haven't seen that, you can follow me on Instagram. Whenever I make anything new, I pop it there on Instagram, and if you've any questions about my process, please do ask. Also, if you anything at all that you want to ask about what I've been doing today with this little study of Degas, please do ask in the comments below. And if you've got a particular artist that you like doing artist copies from, that you like to learn from, also we could have a chat about that in the comments below. And I do always read them, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Even though time is, like I say, short at the moment, I do tend to reply to comments and things like that when I'm in bed or whatever in the morning when I first wake up. I always check my emails, check comments, and I will reply to them. I always give that a few minutes every day to do that. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you get a chance to do a little study like that, because drawing practice is the best practice for your paintings, for progressing your work, for improving. Just keep practicing your drawing, and little studies like this are invaluable. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back again as soon as I can. Bye bye for now.